I've had this condition for 2 centuries, but truth be told, you were my first. Take Gale, for example. He strikes me as someone whose blood is rich, refined, like well-aged brandy. But the Gith, what in the hells would she taste like?
Damnable roach! Provoke the blade! And suffer its sting.
I'm trying to say that you've earned my trust in a way very few ever have. I want that to mean something. I want you to know more about me, at least from what I can remember.
The dead make a fine host for my growing children.
If I die down here, destroy my corpse.
Lae'zel had the makings of a formidable ally, if one prone to acts of impulsive violence. Still, such conflicts will not serve our party well in resolving this little parasite problem of ours. Best we cast from the same spellbook from now on.
I could tell Shadowheart was tough, but a killer? I'm surprised. She has more steel than I thought.
It means that a reckoning's coming. And I'll be the one to pay up.
Gods, what now? Do you have a tax collector on your tail?
Go on, enjoy yourself. Seek out some wine before it runs dry. There are a lot of thirsty people around here.
Enjoy myself? There's a worm in my brain. I'm surrounded by idiots, and all I've got to drink is wine that tastes like vinegar.
Not that I don't appreciate your musk. Actually rather like it. Well, this seems as good a time as any for me to stop babbling on. Wine is to wit, as meat is to... can't bloody remember it. There I go then, proving your point. Perhaps we'd better leave it at that. Mine eloquent tongue isn't worthy of your ear at present.
You don't want a devil at your party. Horns this sharp will pop the balloons, you see. And the guests won't take kindly to scars quite so monstrous.
Oh, fine. I'll be here eating dirt or whatever.
So, are we saving this Nier from suffocating or leaving him to die? I'm fine with either, naturally. The last thing I want to do is ruin these nails digging through rock. That's a... Oh, you're serious? Well, of course we can leave him. It's the easiest thing in the world. We just have to keep on walking. But if you insist on being a hero, I won't get in your way. Just don't expect me to help, either.
But perhaps I should be content with my lot. I'm already blessed to have you at my side, after all.
It's just a waste of a perfectly good cult that we could be controlling. And a waste of a perfectly good Gale, I suppose.
Or was that Gale's granddad? It doesn't ring a bell. But all right. Must have had something important to say to Gale if he came all this way. Good news, I hope. Whoa now, he's got a... Well, I guess that would explain a little, but... Mistra? I mean, this is a lot to take in. What's he going to do? Well, tell him to pick the right one. Well, better yet, I'll do it. Fucking wizards, man. They always need help picking the simple, obvious option.
Oh my god, soldier. That's Jaheira. The Jaheira. Not personally. I mean, I wish. She's an absolute legend. Years ago, over a century, Jaheira was part of a group that saved Baldur's Gate from Saravok, a Baal sport trying to plunge the city into war. My mum used to tell us stories about them. The legends who protected the city from evil. She said Jaheira was a powerful druid. Adamant. Tough. I've told myself those stories 1,000 times since. I never thought I'd meet Jaheira. She's a hero, and I was always some outer city kid. Can't believe she wants to talk to us about working together. What a day!
Please, be welcome. Have a drink.
Oh, my gods!
To your very good health.
Yeah. I mean, it's an honor, milady.
I will gladly drink to your health as well, Garlac.
Selûnite magic. Dark Lady, forgive me.
Good nose. Like a nasty little terrier.
Oh, I love this time of year. The dickheads start popping up wherever you look.
What do you want, Mizora? Oh, sorry. I didn't see you standing there. Lost in the steps, truth be told. I need them to be just right. I wouldn't want to fail my new partner. I know a few people who might beg to differ, but the only one that matters is here with me now. May I have this dance? Bravo! Bravo! Now, perhaps we might try a more intimate style. So much shadow around us. To think I almost missed the light. Well, it's getting late. We can't face the morrow if we don't bid farewell to the now. I've drunk wines from Daggerford to Cormyr, but I've never known a taste as rich as yours. Gods damn it! You almost make me forget myself. But I still keep faith in the old tales of love. The once upon a times and the happily ever afters. I'd like to do this the proper way. The way of the old romances sung by the bards. Till next time, good night, and dream sweetly.
Ah, you.
This is serious business, devil. Well, a long time ago, someone carved some runes into my back. I'd rather like to know what they say. You'll get back to me. This is important, devil. When?
Damn you. Damn you for giving me so much to care about. Our friends, our adventures. This would have been so much easier if it was just me. But it isn't. If there is a way, any way, to save all that's grown dear to me, I want to seize it. Stay with me, will you? I don't want to think of it anymore, but I don't want to be alone either.
It's full of dripping goo, slime. Whatever it is, it's coming from higher up the tower. What?
You. What have you done? What have you done to me?
Motherfucker. Gortash.
Oh dear.
The villain is the rest! Together, we have crushed him, brain and body.
We're not just fighting for our cure. We're fighting for my father. We're fighting for the gate. We're fighting for all of Faerûn.
As would I, and more. I was 17. Father, older Ravengard, had just been named a Grand Duke and was called away to Elturel to help settle a dispute. That's when the cult of the dragon made its move. He returned to an unsuspecting city and a wayward son with a smirking devil at his side. I tried to tell him the truth, but my mouth couldn't form the words. I'd led him to the battlefield, but Mazura had swept it clean. I showed him my stone eye, but he only turned away. After, he said only one word: go. So I did. No, never. He did the only thing he could. In his eyes, I invited a devil into our midst. I was a fool at best, a traitor at worst, and Grand Duke Ravengard suffers neither. More than you know. The better question is, did he ever miss me? If he did, he missed the Wyll Ravengard he once knew, not the hell-touched warlock he returned to.
I never saw myself as a banisher of shadows before. I was always more of a lurker-in, historically. The thing that will decide my fate forevermore. Yes, it's been on my mind. Why? I hadn't really decided on the specifics. Obviously, we could stop the ritual, or not. What? I've obviously thought about it. If I was the one who completed the ritual, I'd have such power. And I could walk in the sun without fear I'd turn into a mind flare.
I hope they will remain as a pair. It will be good for them both to have a friend, once I'm gone. Still, I would like to return here someday. see Thaniel and Oliver again. In my meditations, or perhaps in person, if the Oak Father wills it. I hope he does. I belong at your side. And I'm glad to be had. Glad to be with you, I mean.
I was his bodyguard. I looked after him with my life. I trusted him more than anything. He gave me away to Zariel just for kicks. He ruined my life just when it was starting. And now he'll use up the entire Sword Coast. He has to die. And I'm gonna be the one who kills him!
The curse has been lifted. The land's cleansed of the shadows. Kethric's reign of living death is over. Your courage has been tested, and in this at least, you have triumphed. Beyond the campsite, the city waits in uneasy silence, one sleep away.
The gate is closed, as is Cazador. Cazador and his rite of profane ascension. An imperial soiree, attended by devils and spawn alike. A grand ceremony to honor one exalted vampiric master. And elevate him to an unfathomable station. To place him in a position of such esteem. The world will yearn to kneel and offer their necks. Of course I envy him. Why wouldn't I? The problem with what Cazador has done is that he did it to me. If the time comes and I can stay one move ahead of him, I'll take his place before his blood can hit the floor. What's a handful of the wretch's servants? If they're anything like me when I was enslaved, they're all but begging for death anyway. After 200 years of shit, pure shit! I think I deserve something better.
We are in danger.
Oh, shit. A mind flayer.
Be honest. What do you think of the new look? Well, I'm glad someone does. Perhaps I'll get used to it. I have a lot to get used to right now.
Worm's Crossing, the welcome mat of Baldur's Gate. This is it. I'm almost home.
Baldur's Gate is where I first raised a glass in toast at the tender age of 14 and got so tipsy from wine, I puked in Dillard Portier's bushes. It's where the flaming fist chased me after I'd stolen a peach from a cart in the Wide. I got a good chewing out over it too. It's where my father taught me to hold a rapier, to read books of lore, to know right from wrong. It's been 7 years since I left. It's no paradise, but it's home, and it's worth saving.
It's not enough. We have a gallery of villains to look out for, but now we could be infiltrated by a shape changer? I can't even tell if any of you are acting strange because you've been replaced or because this group is full of weirdos. Well, I mean, kind of. It's a long story, honestly. Where is he hiding? Tell me!
Brother, please!
Fine. You owe your wretched life to my friend. Now tell me what I need to know. I'm the only one who can. The sun can't harm me. Cazador can't compel me. I don't need to fear him anymore. Now go, before I change my mind about roasting you, brother. Well, yes, technically, only I will ascend and gain the ritual's power. But we're a team. If I become all-powerful, then we become all-powerful. We are a team, aren't we? You are still with me? I knew I was right about you. You're a true friend.
Not close to Duke Older Ravengard's own son, surely.
You having a laugh, devil boy? I know Ravengard, and last I knew, his spawn wasn't sporting those horns.
An imposter in our ranks. If this is true, it could be anyone. You, me... Well, not me, I know who I am.
Father. I've had enough, Mizora. What do you want? Of course she'd stick her infernal nose where it doesn't belong. Of course she's dreamt up some risible scheme. By all the hounds of the hells, what is she planning?
Gods, I hate clowns. I'm not even sure clowns like clowns.
What? No, don't you dare. This isn't funny. Of course. What fun. I'm going to fucking kill you. It's to be expected. Some families just don't get along.
One last trip to Avernus. At least it'd be for a good reason, right?
Wasn't until we got within reach of Worm's Crossing that it felt real. It's so strange. I don't remember much of it, yet I can't help feel like I know it. It feels like home.
Gods, this is the first time in 200 years I've seen these streets in the sunlight. You can forget just how much color there is in the world. So, we kill Gortash, or Halsin dies. It is not an easy call. On the one hand, killing Gortash would be fun. On the other, Halsin can be very annoying. We probably should save the druid, though. He does have his uses.
I don't know how exactly Orin managed to spirit away someone as big as Halsin, but we have to get him back. Either via a rescue, or Gortash's death.
She thinks she can take my druid and live to tell the tale. Dream on, shapeshifter. Karlach's coming for you.
Understandable, when the answer is invariably, the silver-haired one ate them.
It's not just a legend. It's a history.
That's it. That's what I need.
He would seek the power of gods for the pettiest of reasons. His own gratification. At least I seek them for the better of all.
What's that? I didn't quite catch the words, but the insolent tone was clear enough.
Pitying, not insolent. You chase one power without knowing an even greater one lies within my reach.
Ah, so it is you. Mistra's discarded lapdog. And now you think your bark is cause to make me tremble?
There is no need for me to bark. My actions will speak for themselves. In time. If that charlatan Leroican thinks he can best Dame Aelin, he's even more clueless than I believed. We should inform her of his delusions. No doubt she'll have great fun in dispelling them.
Also, she'll want to cave his skull in, and honestly, I would not mind seeing that.
You will address me with due deference. I am Dame Aelin. And you are a whelp without honor, without pride, with nothing but a tower full of trinkets.
I worshipped Mistra loyally for years, and in that time she granted me the barest sliver of the power I was ready to wield. Even with the fate of the world at stake, she had little more to offer me than the means of blowing myself up at a more convenient time. She's done nothing to help us. I take it as a compliment either way. You don't get to be 13 centuries old without becoming a sound judge of character. And cheese, apparently.
Are the two of you together?
Ew, no. Just mates. Very good mates.
Oh, that's lovely. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hope that wasn't a lie. I hope we do get to meet up with Fitz when this is all over. First step, save the city. Then, save myself. And last but not least, dinner with an old friend. What more could you ask for?
I respect the gods, but they don't always understand what they're asking of us. Maybe immortality makes it hard to know what it's like to be one of us piggies. Here lie Pluck and Karlach Cliffgate. My parents. Hi, Mum. Hi, Dad. Sorry I haven't visited. I've been, away. But I'm back now, and I brought friends. I miss you so much. But I'm happy and getting up to some really important shit. Maybe you can see for yourselves. I don't know. You're with me here. Anyway. Taters. Men, I love you in the Cliffgate household. I can't even remember how it started anymore. Lost family lore.
So, Astarion, vampire dens. What should I expect?
Vampires would be a safe bet.
Hilarious. You belong on stage. Perhaps the blood-stained sort, with a hooded man standing by, axe in hand.
So long as there's a cheering crowd. As for vampire dens, I'd brace your nose. They can be very organic.
Get the hells away from me!
Everything has changed. What matters now is that I can stand up to Cazador. He will be furious. And he'll be even more furious when I get to that crypt and stop him. For what it's worth, thank you. No matter what happens down there, you helped me stand up against him. You're right. I can be better than them. But I'm not above enjoying this.
Is it over? Is he...
Yes. He's gone. Let's get out of here. I've had more than my fill of this place.
He'd hate to hear me say this, but I'm so fucking proud of Astarion. He could have had it all, but he kept his soul instead. I wasn't sure he had it in him, but he's changed so much. Overcome so much darkness. Oh, I could smooch that pointy little face.
So Astarion didn't fulfill his master's ambitions for himself. At least that means he's his own man. Though, I'm a little surprised he didn't covet those powers.
Astarion showed restraint where most others wouldn't. He might not appreciate the sentiment, but I'm proud of him.
Flowers are so overrated. They're bright, gaudy, and almost never make good poisons.
I used to be the scourge of the hells. Now flowers can make me cry.
Each their own, I suppose. Although I am right.
Don't just stand there. Help me, goddamn-it! Help me!
We're not gonna let this happen, are we? Volo's... well, he's Volo.
I've had my fill of underwater misadventures. Let's get back to the surface world before any more perils seek us out.
God, that was close. I could almost kiss the boards here, but... well, that would be disgusting.
First you cleave my heart in twain, now you shatter it to pieces. My son, a monster. Twisted beyond recognition. To think my blood flows through those veins. Is this my fate? To be freed from Gortash's hell, only to be trapped in yours?
It isn't what you think. It never was.
You turned your back on me, on your city, to chase the she-devil and her power. She stinks up the place even now. It is exactly what I think.
Ravenguard's tadpole clenches as your memories and wills flow into him.
My tears rooms. I'm in your mind.
The Grand Duke sees Mizora and her infernal sisters. He sees the agony in Will's face as an impossible choice is set before him.
No. My son.
The past becomes present, and Will's thoughts are laid bare. Ravenguard sees Will partnering with Mizora to defeat Tiamat's cultists before they could lay siege to Baldur's Gate, and he sees everything beyond. The Nautiloid journey, the perilous path to Moonrise, the astral prism, and the Emperor within.
Will.
Everything I did for Baldur's Gate. I did for you.
My son. You sold your soul to save Baldur's Gate, and I cast you out for it. You gave yourself to the Hell's eternal fires so I might walk free. By the gods. Can you ever forgive me?
There's nothing to forgive. You wanted to protect the city. I only ever wanted the same.
You are a better man than most, and a better son than I deserve. I'll yet make amends, but my duty is first and foremost to the city and its people. There's something I must ask of you. Before I was captured, I was on a mission. Returning from Elturel, I discovered the plans of the Absolutists. I immediately realized the city couldn't defend itself against such an army. I didn't despair, because the city has a secret guardian, a worm that sleeps beneath. He can be called upon in times of great need. This is such a time. You've been trained in the ways of the great champions and proven to be one of them. The worm will answer your call. You must seek him out.
Courage, insight, strategy, justice. I remember them well. You made me recite them every morning.
So you do. And I thought you'd abandoned them. More fool me. The worm goes by many names. Ansur, the waiting storm, the heart of the gate. He promised Balduran he'd protect the city if ever its existence was threatened. But just the once. Since then, the city has faced countless threats, but we always overcame. There was never a need to call on the worm. Until now. The Absolute is the greatest threat Baldur's Gate ever faced. The worm must be awakened, and the task falls to you. Take this. The legend of Ansur. An ancient epic. Ill-remembered. Dismissed as a mere tale. Let it set the path before you. The legend has it that Ansur will only answer to a proven hero of the city. Until a moment ago, I thought that was me. But is he who rejects his own child a hero? What of he who calls his brave son a monster? You showed me the truth. You showed me that I was the one who turned his back. You showed me that Wyll may be the future of Baldur's Gate, and well beyond it.
Baldur's Gate stands on the brink of the abyss. My father was clear. We awaken the worm and take back the city.
Wyll, you are more valorous than Balduran himself. May the city know the truth of my only son. Pride of Ravengard. Pride of Baldur's Gate.
We'll finish what my father couldn't. We'll awaken Ansur, the heart of the gate. O Balduran, founder due veneration. His guardian dragon Ansur, tremendous in worth. A savior below, our eternal elation. It's not just a tale, it's a history. Consider this. To Wormway 'neath prison's deepest level. That must mean Worm's rock prison. That's where we'll find the entrance to this Wormway. Then this. With the shock of a true hero's spark flickers, the torches alight, and Worm's eyes shall awake a glitter. To open the way, we'll need to spark torches. This dragon Ansur was Balduran's ally. We'd be fools to let him sleep while the Dead Three's chosen raised the city. It's complicated. There's the joy of reconciliation, the relief of forgiveness, and the anxiety of new expectation. It's a flurry of emotion. I'm not sure how to make sense of it. Joy. To my father, I was only ever a boy. Incredible that he can see the man I became. Once all this is ended, once we've crushed the brain and freed the people, I could once more call Baldur's Gate home. Whether I return there, well, only time will tell. Relief. My last 7 years have been defined by the secrets I carried. I feel light as a feather now that I've shed them. When I left the city, my father saw only a boy carrying the stench of the hells. Now, he sees the man I made of myself. Once all this is ended, Once we've crushed the brain and freed the people, I could once more call Baldur's Gate home. Whether I return there, well, only time will tell.
I bet you're pleased with yourself. Saving Ravengard and making a fool out of me in a single swoop. Go on, do your gloating. You've earned it.
Damn right I did. My father is safe and my chains are broken.
It's funny. As the Blade, I've faced untold brutes and beasts. Together, we've seen illithid horrors most souls could merely fathom. I lived at the mercy of fiends, a devil's plaything trying to right the coast's wrong. But I've only now come to see who my true enemy's been. Maybe, but I think the right answer is much simpler than that. Time. Time is so goddamned greedy. It can never give, only take. It builds mountains and deserts only to tear them asunder. It fells armies. It conquers kings, queens, even gods. We blink and we're gone. And our hopes, our memories, our heart bonds are gone with us. Lucky for us, I found a way to stop time. If just for a moment. Come, let me show you. The Wilden Oak. Legend has it stood since the Age of Dawn. I used to come here and climb it when my father's eye was turned elsewhere. Daydream of the stories it might tell if I listened close enough. The dragon lords sparking the skies above it, the moon elves first plucking the strings of the weave. Standing here, I feel like I can see into forever. I was hoping you'd think so. I've been thinking a lot about forever. More so, I've been thinking about everything that comes before, and who I want at my side as it passes. My mother always said the Wilden Oak's acorns held just a touch of wishing magic. If that be so, then may my greatest wish come true tonight. I love you. Will you be mine today and tomorrow and reaching into eternity? Gods, you've made me the happiest soul in all the realms.
Your skin flushes and your soul sings as you palm the acorn. Wishing magic, affection, love. Whatever the cause, it's as real as the ground beneath you.
Get down here already. It's time we started our happily ever after.
So Gortash is nothing more than a pile of flesh? Same as the rest of us. I feel like there should be a sunset for me to ride off into. Or an orchestral swell, or something. But there's nothing, is there? I killed the bastard who ruined my life, and my prize is that I get to crawl into a corner and die. Am I fucking missing something? I'm beyond overwhelmed. I'm finished. He's dead. And he's no fucking sorrier now than he was before. What was the point? I'm still dying. I'm dying. I'm going to die. Got a miracle in your back pocket you forgot to tell me about. I'm going to be as dead as a Gortash any day now. Any moment. And what then? Off to the City of Judgment to waste into oblivion? Into the dirt to get eaten by maggots? Is that it for me? Is that fucking all? And you'll just keep going, won't you? Watching the stars, warming your hands on the campfire, dancing, eating, making fucking love all night. All of it, all of it! That's my reward for everything I suffered. That's why I survived 10 years of torment. The fighting, the clawing, the loneliness, the fucking loneliness. All of it so I could rot. Because the person I trusted the most gave me away to the devil. It isn't fair. I don't want it like this. I don't want to die. I want to live. I want to stay. What the fuck am I supposed to do now? Let's get out of here. I've always hated this place. Stupid fucking gigantic bridge or whatever. I think I need to go to camp for a while. Be alone. Scream at the sky. You can come and find me later if you want to. Thanks for listening. For existing. Love you.
Of all the places I expected would find this Minsk, crawling from the broken jaws of a mimic wasn't high on my list. What's life without a few surprises, eh?
Rings a bell? Why? Oh, hells. You didn't pick that by hand, did you? They're deadly poisonous. Joking. They're safe. And beautiful. Thank you. I don't have anything to give you in return, I'm afraid.
Ah. That's the main criteria, then I shall reset my expectations accordingly. Water it is.
Gods. Have we really cut down the Great Range of Minsk? A nightmare that can never be erased from my memory. Please. I need a moment.
Minsk was a hero. He deserved a hero's death, not this. We'll avenge him. The Dead Three did this, really. And we're going to stop their fucked up plan in its tracks.
This place is astonishing. A bard's legend made real.
If I don't get my beauty sleep soon, I may just get a tad malcontent.
I'm afraid I have little experience with lance sport, let alone the command of soldiers.
I've been known to shuffle a few knights around in my day. Might I offer a suggestion?
A deep sigh resonates within you. The torrent stills, only disturbed by the dragon's next words.
Brack, my words aren't meant for you. They're meant for him.
The Emperor stirs in the astral prison, then in you. Calm, curious, and detached.
Your presence has stirred me, as it ever did. I am awakened.
Answer. It's been too long.
Alderaan! No! I don't believe it!
A name I once answered to. A name I did not expect to hear again. Least of all from the mouth of an old friend. Friend. Yes. And more. Until you killed me. Have you come to dance on my bones, Alderaan? Was slaying me not satisfaction enough? Satisfaction? No. You left me no choice.
Ansur is dead. There will be no great tempest roaring through the skies, no dragon redeemer to save us. What hope then for Baldur's Gate? Without the Great Worm's aid, is the city doomed to fall?
You braved the worm's lair, seeking a savior. Yet it was you, all of you, who vanquished the undead abomination which Ansur became. You are more powerful than you understand. It is you who are the Tempest. It is you who are the heart of the gate.
You're right. We are the warriors who'll slay the Absolute. We are the guardians who'll defend this fair city.
Yes, the brain will fall, and the people will hail us as champions.
I could even claim my father's own ducal title and carry his banner after this. Grand Duke Wyll Ravengard, Marshal of the Flaming Fist, the city's truest defender.
Your optimism is inspirational, as always, but I think convincing the general population to place their fates in the hands of a devil, however well-meaning, might prove challenging.
The Absolute's end would be the guarantee. Devilish visage be damned.
If I were to call myself Grand Duke, no patriarch would deny the claim. I fought to right the wrongs of the coast, to slay the monsters that hunt the helpless. What good is a champion who puts himself above the people? What good am I as a politician just out of reach? There will be no Grand Duke Wyll Ravengard, and there will be no Blade of Frontiers. I am now the Blade of Avernus. For as long as demons and devils imperil the Sword Coast, they will be my prey.
The Blade of Avernus!
A calm settles over you. The Elder Brain is a menace, but with the Blade of Avernus at your side, you know you will triumph.
So Will's the Blade of Avernus now. I suppose that's a new sort of frontier for him.
The Blade of Avernus. A new name for a changed man. The 4 pillars finally rise within me. Courage, insight, strategy, justice. I'm not to abide them, but to become them. But enough reflection for today. I'm of a mind to celebrate. A hearty meal would do the trick. A few hunks of fresh venison, a round of brown ale. What do you say? Wonderful. You hunt the deer, I'll scrounge up the ale. Prepare your belly for a roast a la Blade. Let's hope Gale doesn't take offense if I assume cooking duties, just the once. I love the coast. I love its people. The Blade of Avernus will toil for them, but he'd rather not toil alone. Faerun doesn't need just one hero. It needs 2. Say you'll fight with me. Then let it be so. Could any man have wanted a partner more ravishing? You make me so proud. And when the Elder Brain falls, the people of the Sword Coast will see what I see. A shining star, beckoning them to a brilliant future. I failed, Father. The worm is fallen.
A terrible fate for Ansur, my son. Yet my hopes for the city's future have never been higher.
I don't understand.
You and your allies slayed the undead terror that was once the Great Ansur. You are stronger than even the Great Worm. You will be the one to part the storms and lead the people through. You, not Ansur, are the savior we need. First, you will fell the Absolute. Then we will rebuild Baldur's Gate. We will take back our city together. I will name you Baldur's Gate's newest Grand Duke of the Council. You will be hailed Heart of the Gate.
Grand Duke. I look the part of a fiend.
I will tell the citizens and the patriarchs of your good works. They will know you carry your father's banner.
Uncertainty fills the air. Wyll has reached a fork in his path. In which direction will he travel?
Wyll?
I fought to right the wrongs of the coast, to slay the men and monsters that hunt the helpless. It is in the wilds that I find my courage, not in the halls of upper city estates. There will be no Grand Duke Wyll Ravengard, and there will be no Blade of Frontiers. I am now the Blade of Avernus. For as long as demons and devils imperil the Sword Coast, they will be my prey.
Then go with my blessing. Be Faerun's great defender. Courage, insight, strategy, justice. Let these be the lights that guide you, my son.
That graffiti from before. I never thought I'd see it again. Well, I think I was the one who did it. I can recognize my own handwriting. How long ago was this? Years? All the time I spent training, hidden away from the world. I think I must have wanted to leave my mark somewhere. Just to prove I existed. Even to myself.
Welcome to the House of Grief. Or perhaps welcome is the wrong word, Shadowheart. There's been some debate whether you'd even show up and face the consequences of your actions. I assumed you tried to flee, like a craven.
Spare me your venom. I'm sure the Mother Superior will have plenty of her own.
All in due time.
Finish it. Send me to Lady Shah's embrace.
She still has answers I need. My parents. Where are they?
So blunt. Have you forgotten all the interrogation techniques I taught you? Where is the finesse?
Answer me!
They are right through that door in the Chamber of Loss. Where they have been all along. You saw them many times, only we made you forget. But they didn't forget. They watched as we molded you. They watched. They wept. They bled. Often at your hand. It may not be a happy reunion, but it will be a memorable one.
I know. But she's not lying. She made me in her image. Why? Why me? Why all this effort?
Lady Shah commanded me, and I obeyed. I do not question. I merely act as she wills me to. I had an enclave in Waterdeep, you know. Much grander than this. Shah ordered me to raise it. Kill all who followed me. Claim they betrayed me. When in fact, I slew those who showed nothing but loyalty. Shah had me do that. And I did. To cover my tracks. To usher in you.
What are you talking about?
You became my mission. To take a child of Selûne's and turn her over to Lady Shah. To show that all light fades and darkness will prevail in the end. All this was to make you into what the Dark Lady needed you to be. The planning, the training, those deaths in Waterdeep. It was all to groom you to replace me at her right-hand side. And still you threw it away.
I want to see my parents. And I don't care what happens to this one. She's been in my head long enough already. Do what you like. I know you'll choose well.
What are you doing? Come back and finish this yourself. You owe me that.
Let go, Mother. Embrace loss.
I draw near, my lady.
Shadowheart? I wasn't sure if I'd ever lay eyes on you again. It's me, Nocturne. Do you remember?
You recall the memory Shadowheart recovered by eating the noble stalk. This must be the person she remembered.
I remember you, but you're different. Very different. I used to call you something else, didn't I?
You did. But that's not who I am now. I remember the other initiates used to tease you about your name, the one you chose to honor Lady Shah. They were attacking who you were. I never found it funny, but I wasn't quite sure why. Eventually, I realized it was because I wasn't happy with who I was. I couldn't keep going like that. But seeing how you fought on, I realized that I didn't have to. From then on, I was Nocturne. It wasn't easy, but everything started to make sense. I could breathe.
It's a beautiful name. Suits you well.
Thank you. Picked it myself. But enough of that. I can't believe you're back.
I've been trying to return here as long as I can remember, which admittedly doesn't amount to much.
They whispered it was a suicide mission. This search for the artifact you were sent on. Some even thought it was the Mother Superior's plan alone, and not Lady Shah's intent. But now it seems you've turned on both the Mother Superior and Lady Shah.
Shah condemned me. By her decree, you and I are enemies.
Only if you wish us to be. You helped me be true to myself. I will not begrudge you for discovering yourself, even if it displeases Lady Shah.
That's good enough for me. I'm not sure what I expected coming back to this place. Certainly not a friend. There must be all sorts you can tell me. Things I can't even remember.
There are. But with the Mother Superior gone, I don't know if I can stay here to reminisce. Perhaps there's another enclave out there for me.
You don't need Shah.
You don't, perhaps. Not everyone is as brave. I'll leave come tomorrow. Come see me before then. I was working as quartermaster. I can sell you some things to aid you. And we can catch up.
It can't be. Another vile trick.
No. There is no trick. It's her. Jennifer. Jen. Our little girl.
Moon Maiden's grace. It is you.
I'm here to get you out of here. They're all gone. It's over.
It is not over. You see, it matters not if you raise this place. If you slay every one of your brothers and sisters. That was never where my power resided. Every time you tried to step away from me, every time you tried to reach for Selûne, my hold on you bites deeper. If you had learned, if you had obeyed, there would be no pain. But you struggle on. You will make things worse for yourself. And for them. I am neither. I am nothing. I am the empty room. The dreamless sleep. The shadow's shadow. There was no pain before my sister set the sun aflame. Now you exist to suffer. Until you find your way back to my embrace.
Enough! I'm taking my parents away from here. I'm taking them away from you!
You cannot.
we are still bound to you. You cannot both free us and free yourself from her curse. The Moon Maiden needs you more than she needs us. You are the future. You must return to the fold. We are the past, and our duty is almost done.
Eloquently put. His mind stood up well to his time here. The same cannot be said for your mother. Such brief, fragile lives humans lead. This is my final lesson. I leave you now to dwell on your mistakes and make your choice.
Shah's parting words make your flesh crawl. There is no lesson to be learned here, only a family's torment, a spiteful goddess's whims, and an unspeakable choice to be made.
She's gone. I don't understand.
Shah will never admit defeat. Not until she has stolen one last thing from you. We cannot allow your future to be her last prize. Not after all your mother and I have endured. To see you again. Your companion understands, I think. Help her, please. Help her see what must be done.
I'm sorry. I didn't know any of this was happening until it was much too late. I came to try to put things right.
And you did. You found us. All these years, that dream kept us going. That you would break free. No matter what they made you do to us, we knew you were still in there.
I knew the Dark Woods wouldn't frighten you. You were always such a brave girl.
She was, and still is. You've saved us. Now save yourself. You'll be out of Shah's reach, and we'll be at peace.
I only just found you again after all this time. I can't lose you again.
We'll still be with you.
Is this truly what you want?
It is what we need. All of us. You were meant to be a guiding light for Seluna's faithful, but they robbed you from us. Now that can be righted, and we can rest.
Help us, Jen. I can let go. Now I've seen your face again.
Goodbye.
Not goodbye. Not even close.
Moonmotes. They bring Seluna's light to dark places and offer guidance to those in need. My parents are watching over me. Let's leave this place. There's nothing more for me here. Shadowheart, still. I can't run away from who I was all this time. Besides, there's something fitting to it. Can't cast a shadow without sunlight. My parents. I saw them. Spoke to them. And let them go. It's more than I can take in just now. Give me a night to try and get my head together.
What Shadowheart did for her parents was a profound act of love. Her courage is... well, it's quite something to behold.
Shadowheart's memories will be a heavy load for her to carry. But her suffering is over, and so is her parents'. I hope she finds comfort in that.
Doesn't look like anyone's been here in a while. Perhaps people lost faith. Or forgot about it. I wanted to come here. to see if I felt anything that I hadn't done before. Now that I know what I know. Now that I know who I am. Loss. Actual loss, not Shah's oblivion. I had my family. For too short a moment. Now they're gone. By my hand. But why does freedom have to feel like I've lost everything? Perhaps I could have saved them. Or perhaps Shah would have helped me forget them. Instead, I've neither. I'll follow. But I think I want to stay here a little longer, firstly. This place isn't familiar, but it's peaceful. Shadowheart. She's as much a part of who I am as Jennifer. Can't just forget her. It's not what I do anymore. Besides, Shadowheart still suits me. Even better than before, perhaps. You can't cast a shadow without some light.
Raphael's good and gone. Feels damn good too. Now, if only I could get rid of the other devil in my life.
Defeating a devil in his own home feels very, very good, actually.
When Arin was but 7 years old, she tried to smother the child as an offering to our Lord. I heard the screams. I ran to help. I feared for the child's life. But the cries were not Arin's.
Why must the Dead Three be so obvious and ugly with their decor? Blood and bones, bones and blood. Pointy nonsense. At least Shah had some panache.
As did Mistra's home on Elysium. Her ribbed vaults and buttresses created a magic entirely of their own. Not to mention her pleasure domes.
Pleasure dome.
It's a perfectly legitimate architectural feature. Arin was a monster, whatever her form. I suppose growing up somewhere like this would make a monster of anyone.
Pristine darkness in every direction. Silence, but for the gentle, rhythmic slap of water on rock as your vessel cuts through. An overwhelming force pushes into your mind. The brain. It is here.
Honestly, I was expecting an all-powerful brain to have a lair that was a little, flashier. Not immaculately designed or anything, just to have a sense of drama to it. Oh, as well as can be expected when facing down the end of the world. I can't say for sure. But we've come through a lot already. It would hardly do to fail now.
The belly of the beast. The sooner we kill this thing, the better. Honestly, I think self-reflection may be the enemy just now. I can't afford to lose my nerve. Safer to just not think and keep forging ahead. I do. Think of all we've been through just to get to this moment. That wasn't luck, that was us. Let's just stay shoulder to shoulder and see this through.
The aura of Netheril hangs heavy in this place. The brain is close, as is the crown, as is victory. Dare we begin to hope? When? I'm glad you have such confidence in our endeavor. I confess, my own's not constructed from such immutable materials. I don't dare to imagine making such a decision when there's the small matter of the enormous brain beneath the crown still to overcome. Ask me again when the Illithid scourge has been wiped from this city and I'll have an answer for you. Until then, it's best not to count on anything.
You think you know why you are here. You think that by killing the Chosen and taking the Netherstones, you can destroy me. You are wrong.
Dreamed of walking these halls, you know. My dreams never included a giant brain or smouldering ruins, but I'll take what I can get.
The High Hall was once a beacon of promise, of wisdom, of celebration. Now, well, it's just a beacon for all manner of horrors and pity. I'm cautiously optimistic. Though, with the time left to us and the amount still to be done, it's best we don't take anything for granted. Who knows what shape these final moments of ours might assume? Not I. Not Mystra. Not even you. Whatever my fate might be, I'll be glad to greet it in such fine company.
Thought occurs to you as you gaze at the monstrosity above. Gale's orb remains an option, one that could put an end to the Absolute once and for all.
You're plotting something, aren't you? Come on, then. Out with it. I'd rather know before we take on that cerebral monstrosity. As viable a plan as any while staring into the maw of perdition. Shall we?
There you are. The rat catcher that became a lord. The false daughter of darkness. Shunned by a goddess. The wizard who defied a goddess. You are spectacular specimens. And you will make spectacular thralls!
Silence. For the first time in a long time, your thoughts are entirely your own. And then, gravity.
I can't feel the tadpole. It's gone. We're free!
My powers, they're draining. Just like Mazora said they would. A small price to pay in the grand scheme of things.
It's over. It's truly over. Against all odds, we cured ourselves. Free from the parasite. Free from the prospect of ceremorphosis. I can hardly believe it. We will not become accursed illithids. Not to cast any slight on you, of course. Your form rather suits you.
It makes little difference to me. I did what I had to secure my freedom. And in spite of your resistance to evolution, you have proved a good ally.
The Githyanki are leaving us. An unlikely place to find ourselves, fighting on the same side as them.
With the Githyanki gone, there's nothing left but the silence of the city. Smoldering, waiting to be rebuilt. But it seems that Gale's mind is elsewhere.
The crown. It's somewhere in the Chiontha. If I salvage the stones, I can reforge it. The power of Karsus would be in my hands. But what then? What would I do with it once I have it? A wise suggestion. I felt a hubris once before and landed myself with this orb. think I'd rather not make the same mistake again. If this adventure has taught me anything, it's that there are things in this world far more valuable than power. Besides, growing quite fond of this merry band of ours, but I'd quite like to see what happens to it. I'm sure Mistra will summon me soon enough, but until then, I propose we celebrate our victory the mortal way, with a drink in our hands and reckless abandon in our hearts.
Let's not forget the wine. I want to flush out my brain, just to be completely sure the tadpole's gone.
I will not be joining you. I fear my presence will be no more welcome in the streets of the city than it ever was.
I hope the Knights and Shadows treat you well. You're an odd friend, but I suppose a friend still.
I will miss you too.
Now that you no longer live in each other's minds, it's hard to tell if the mind flayer is being sincere, though perhaps no harder than it ever was.
I honestly don't mind what we do once we get to the... Ow! What the... Oh, no. Oh, God. Well, it was nice when it lasted. Ah! I'm sorry. I have to go.
Astarion's days in the sun are behind him. The best you can hope is that he finds darkness and the comfort it once gave him. Knowing him, he probably will. Comfort was always one of his specialities, especially when it was his own.
We did it, soldier. The city's going to be all right. And so are you. Engine's finally cooked. Held on just long enough. So, how'd I do? So are you. My friend. My companion. I adore you. Careful! Hot! I never gave up. I did my best. I did my best. It's the one thing I can't beat, isn't it? I wanted to live in my city with my friends. But life is for the living. And I saw... Goodbye, son. Goodbye, sea. Goodbye.
No. Stop. My love. We can save her. We can take her to Avernus. We can't let her die. Not like this. Not now.
You can't.
So, what do you say? Die here now, or live on with people who love you. Azariel won't touch you. I swear it, Karlak.
All right. All right. But we have to go. Now. I can't hang on much longer.
Thank the gods you've seen sense. Come, to Avernus we go. Our next adventure awaits.
Well, soldier. Here we are. It worked. My engine's calmed down. I shouldn't have let you come here. This isn't going to be easy, you know.
Zariel's going to come at us with everything she's got. Gods. Like clockwork. They'll be on us soon, but there's just enough time. Thought I was done with these. But then, there was you lot. Imps are fast, but careless. Don't let them tire you out, just get rid of them. And don't forget, you asked for this. Better let these fuckers know I'm back. And this time, I'm not alone.
When the invitation came, you were hip-deep in Lemur's slime, swarmed by hell wasps, and about to drive the killing blow on a magma claw. Cutting through the dreadful buzz of the wasps and the screams of the damned, a familiar, comforting voice echoed in your mind. Withers, he requested your attendance in Faerun, to gather with your friends and allies, those who stood against the Absolute at your side.
Thou wert called here, some from above, some below. For with thine bond, together thou hast kept the wheel of fate spinning when it threatened to halt. Though thou wert drawn far apart in the months after the collapse of the Absolute, tonight fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great weapon wielded in the hand of good. Go. Know one another once more.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. He wasn't kidding. Withers, you mad bastard! You brought us back! Commander Zula won't know where the fuck we went! Ha! Oh, man, I can't wait to say hi to everyone. Look at them, the beauts. Rest up, soldier. My tin can will be all right for the night. And you and me will get to sleep with both eyes shut for the first time in 6 months. You don't need to ask, soldier. She's got a knight in her, I think. Any trouble and I'll toddle back off to hell quick as you please. Oh, hey, before you go, I've been thinking about those blueprints we found. Zariel's probably got a load of Cambions guarding that forge. I'm sure she knows I'll want in. She'll do anything to stop me from fixing this thing. I might have an in with one of the guards, though. An old acquaintance called Flo. Not sure she'll help us, but maybe. We might get to come home. Permanently. Maybe even sooner than we think.
So you made it! Now it really is a party. Well, look who decided to turn up. I wasn't sure our withered old friend could live up to his promise. But here we are. And look at you, straight from the hells, still reeking of brimstone. I take it you've been having fun. Understandable, but try to resist the urge. I don't want to know what your clothes have been through since we last met. Although I do like the style. Tortured armor never does go out of fashion. I've taken a turn as an adventurer and hero. It turns out no one actually cares about murder, as long as you murder the right people. And apparently I'm rather good at it. Yes, but you say all sorts of things. Honestly, I don't even listen half the time. It has made for a nice change, though. Inspiring hope in people instead of terror. Well, I do try to inspire a little terror. I'm still me, after all. I did at first, but then I realized these shadows, this darkness, it's all a part of me. I spent too long defined by what other people did to me, the choices other people made for me. But that's over now. This is who I am, in all my glory, for better and for worse. That being said, I haven't completely given up on returning to the sun. If the opportunity presented itself, well, I wouldn't say no. But until then, I am happy. We've had quite the journey, you and I. From the moment I first threatened you, I knew you were someone special. Someone to take on the world with. I will miss our time together. But then again, maybe this isn't goodbye. So much as it's, see you later, darling.
Well, well. Look what the Tressim dragged in. Professor Gale Decarius of Blackstaff Academy. Educator of the esteemed School of Illusion. A pleasure to remake your acquaintance. Well, that was quite lovely. I'm glad you're as pleased to see me as I am you. I have to say, I'm quite grateful to just be Gale for the evening. I fear my students find me somewhat intimidating due to my, explosive former reputation. I seem to put the fear of the gods into them. Or the fear of Mystra, to be more specific. She sought me out. Not long after, we went our separate ways, and assured me neither she nor the orb should pose me any threat in the future. Of course, it's still in there. A constant reminder of my former hubris. And a surprisingly effective means of keeping my more disobedient students in line. Perhaps a tad too effective. I spend most of my time trying to convince them how much fun the study of magic can be. But it'd be easier to crack a smile on an intellect devourer than some of my pupils. Illusory magic has the power to confound the senses, to render the impossible into reality, and to allow expression of that most magical attribute of all: imagination. Unfortunately, in that respect, some of my apprentices seem to be rather lazy. Oh, they try their best, of course, when they can manage to stay awake.
The cheek of them! Nothing a well-placed swipe from Tara can't fix, though.
And what of you? What are you making of this newfound lease of life we earned? From you, I'd expect nothing less. I've told my students plenty of tales about our escapades. You're something of a hero to them, you know? I'd be delighted to introduce you to my current cohort as a guest lecturer, perhaps. I'm sure they'd have plenty of questions for you. Excellent. I knew you wouldn't be able to resist the allure of sharing your expertise. Of course, you'll be most welcome to stay with me in my tower. My apologies, Tara. That would be our tower. It will give us plenty of time to catch up on your adventures. I'm very curious to know what you've been up to these past months. But I suspect the telling of that tale would keep you tied to me all evening. So, in the spirit of selflessness, I encourage you to mix and mingle for now, with time enough to come.
There you are. Keeping us all on tenterhooks so you could make a dramatic entrance, is it? Honestly? So have I. Oh, come here, will you? It's been forever. You feel a little more substantial than before. Less camping and scrounging off the land, I take it. I suppose I do, don't I? I'm glad you seem well. Truly. I had no doubt. But I'm glad to hear you say it all the same. Wandering, mostly. The adventuring life is almost a tonic when you're not constantly threatened by brain monsters and cultists. I can finally see the world beyond the cloister. I like to think so. Choosing my own path is still something of a novelty for me, but at least I'm free to make my own mistakes. One of my first stops was the House of the Moon in Waterdeep. It's the largest temple of Selûne in existence. It seemed like the perfect spot to reflect on my parents, on where they came from. And where I came from too, I suppose. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Me, of all people, in the lair of the Moon Witch herself. God, your truest act of heroism was putting up with all that char and drivel I was spouting for so long. Oh, I know they are. I can still sense them, I think. And one day we'll be reunited. I don't know. Which is just the way I like it just now. Perhaps I'll just stick a pin in a map and see what I find, or head to the docks in the morning and scrounge a berth to find somewhere new. I'd like to see the islands, maybe, or head south to Arm. I heard there's an enclave of werecats that hunt the followers of dark gods by moonlight. I'd love to see if there's any truth to that. But enough about me. What have you been up to?
There you are, my love. Breathe deep. Can you smell it?
You take in every scent the night breeze carries. Sweet honeysuckle, tender violets, and an earthy fragrance you can't quite recognize.
Forest trees draped in moss. Bittersweet, smoky, and that faintest hint of vanilla. A far cry from the rancid Avernus heat that's been clogging my lungs. I swear, the three of us have felled enough cambions to build a fortress with their horns. Who would have thought that just one of those fiends held the key to escaping Avernus for good? If those blueprints work, we might be able to fix Karlach, and she might be able to go home to Faerun. I think the splinters I made out of the last bone devil I saw speak for themselves. Not to pat myself too hard on the back, but I'm not such a bad ranger if I do say so myself. I've seen him more than a few times, and he's as proud of me as I am of him. He's leading the city's renewal, opened the gates to all newcomers, rebuilt the council from scratch. And he's back in his element, commanding the Flaming Fist with brave heart and no shortage of empathy. The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few chosen words. No tadpole needed. Bane's Chosen primed the Fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow, that cruelty was the correct answer to crisis. With a few exceptions, fathers pardoned every last fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall forgive them all the same. His words, not mine. He still believes in the bow and the blade, but he's teaching the fist a new lesson. Valor is found not in the wounds you inflict, but in the lives that you have bettered. May they all take it to heart. Well, that's enough hell talk for the moment. The night's young. You shouldn't go wasting it. Or wasting any of the wine, for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oh, did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen. Oh, and before you saunter off, I love you. Hasn't changed, never will.
I've missed wine. Had to resort to making my own cider recently, which isn't bad, don't get me wrong. But a girl can't have fun with apples alone. You might be onto something there, though the name might need work. Somehow it sounds rude, even though I know otherwise. Oh, twist my arm and break it, why don't you? That hit the spot.
I can't believe this is real. Never thought we'd gather like this again. It's quite... yes, it's really quite lovely.
It may just be rocks, grass, and dirt, but there is something about this spot. Some magic in the air.
Oh, pardon me.
This one night is like any other, and yet different. Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate, until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel? I am pleased to hear it. The satisfaction of one's intention is, to my surprise, a rare accomplishment. Enjoy the revelry of the day. Thou deservest at least that much. What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready, for thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving. To you. There thou art, the dead three. Thy faces gods, thy actions barely worthy of the name. Didst truly believe thy ploy would succeed? Didst believe I would not notice? Thou sought to bolster thy strength by taking away the souls of mortals. But souls vanish
when their hosts become mind flayers. Didst think the other gods would not notice? Gods thou may be, yet thou hast proven thyself fools. Everyone. The supplication of Bane, the whimper of Baal, the death mule of Merkel. Felled by mortals. I overestimated thee. They did not. Vermin, away. Thou wilt trouble us no more.